What's going on, guys? I'm making my first predictions video, and it's going to be on UFC 300, the biggest card of the decade, supposedly. And today we're going to be focusing on the main card. Go ahead and gamble at your own risk. I'm not claiming to be a gambling expert. I'm just saying I think I've got some good picks, and you might hate them, you might like them. Let's see. Let's find out. So to start off this gargantuan card that's supposed to be a once-in-a-decade card, UFC 300, we've got Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. So the odds right now are currently minus 2,400 for Bo Nickel, holy shit, and plus 1,200 for Brundage. Listen, we're going to start off with some hot takes. And before you go clicking off, before you start saying, oh, this guy's fucking crazy, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, this is MMA we're talking about. We've seen some of the most crazy upsets. All it takes is one person having a bad night. That's all it takes in the sport. And with some odds like plus 1,200, you'd be crazy not to put in a little bit of money on Brundage. This guy just came off a win of a slam KO the same night where there was two back-to-back slam KOs. You don't get more lucky than that. So while the rest of the MMA community is saying, oh, poor Brundage, he's going to be a poor sacrificial lamb out there, give this guy a chance, all right? Maybe Bo Nickel has a bad night. Maybe this NPC bot human decides, my computer does not work today, and fail takedown, fail takedown. And if the odds makers are looking me straight in the eyeballs and telling me you have to bet $2,400 to make $100, you're crazy. No, I'm picking Brundage, all right, by slam KO. No, but really, the safe pick, if you can call it that, is Bo Nickel. Even though there's no safe picks in MMA, I wouldn't be scared to throw in $20 on Brundage. You can make yourself a pretty good amount of change. Because Bo Nickel's been thriving off the fact that everybody's so scared of the takedowns that he goes out there and KOs guys because they're too worried about their legs. They're like, oh, my legs. And then the hands come and they die. And you never know. Brundage might be like, hey, my balls are made of steel. I haven't been taken down. And the guy who took me down, I killed. So if you can get Bo Nickel to go out there, slip on a banana peel, and you can get Brundage to go out there and be an ice cold killer for 3 seconds, we could see some crazy upsets. And that might just be the way to save yourself by being on UFC 300, by having an amazing upset. Hey, yo, but real talk, what is this fight doing on the biggest card of the decade? Why? This doesn't make any sense. My mic fell. Most people do not know who Bo Nickel is, okay? Even less Cody Brundage. Moving up the card with some actual real heat banger fights of the year.
O campeão tem nome, se chama Charles do Bronx. Pode bater, bate, filha, homem aqui aguenta, rapaz. Nós é iluminado, rapaz. Tá faltando alguma coisa aqui, cadê meu cinturão?
Fuck, it's Charles time, boys. It's fucking Charles time. Campeão tem nome, Charles do Bronx. Yes, Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. With both of these guys coming off first-round stoppages over Beneil Dariush, Arman's dominant rise, and Oliveira sweeping the lightweight top 5, this is a very tough pick for me. I like both of these guys a lot. Charles a little bit more, but that's besides the point. With Oliveira currently sitting at a plus 205 and Arman at a minus 250, the odds makers got it at 2-1 for Arman. With both of these beasts having fought Islam Makhachev, albeit at very different times, Charles obviously losing by submission and Arman by a close decision. Which, by the way, this guy was 23 at the time. That's kind of insane. I mean, Islam was younger too, but come on. My first instinct is to side with Arman. He is the hungrier, younger, up-and-comer with the landslide of momentum by his side, and with the past experience of fighting now #1 pound-for-pound fighter Islam. But hear me out. I can't lie to you guys. I have a strong feeling that Charles can make the upset. Spoilers, you guys. I like underdogs. But trust me, I've got some favorites on here. Now, I've got another hot take. Now, listen up. Hear me out. Pay attention, Daggies. I'm talking to you guys specifically. I don't think Charles Oliveira did that bad against Islam in their grappling exchanges. Now, yeah. Okay, the Bronx got submitted after a questionable flying knee, but that's besides the point. I just don't feel as though Islam was having his way with Charles on the ground. You know, Charles had a pretty dangerous guard.
Brother, what does this have to do with Arman, brother?
McTap like chicken. I really just fail to see how Arman is a serious threat to Charles on the ground or anywhere, as a matter of fact. And trust me, I know Arman is good. I think that guy's a future champ. If he beats Charles and Islam retires, yeah, this guy's a champion. But I just think with a game plan like Arman's, which I think is going to be go out there, pressure, drown Charles. I don't think that's going to work on him. I think Charles Oliveira's guard is too dangerous. I think he poses too many threats. I don't like Arman's stand up at all. Arman has like these autistic like inner demons in him where he just wants to kill someone when he's in there. And that really gets in the way of him. He's been caught by a check left hook several times, which Charles has a perfect check hook, okay? Look at the way he put down Chandler. You cannot let your guard down for even a second when you're fighting Charles Oliveira. And Arman has a terrible habit of letting his guard down, especially when he thinks he's edging out the fight. As gritty as this guy is and as much of a beast he is, he needs to drop that habit. But I also think that Arman is still going to respect Charles somewhat. So I don't think he'll get finished. I'm going to pick Charles by decision. If not, I think Charles is going to rock him with a check hook. We're going to see Arman panic shoot and he might get submitted. Charles also likes to get rocked in his fights, sadly. But I think Arman's striking is just a little bit too sloppy to rock someone like Charles. You got to be a Dustin, Justin, a Chandler, and Islam Makhachev. Moving on to the BMF belt, Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. We've got our hands full here. I like both of these guys. Originally, I was kind of thinking, Max might have a chance here. He's been putting on the size. We might see a different Max Holloway here. But I think I'm going to go with Justin Gaethje. What I think this fight's going to teach us is that we might possibly have the most exciting fight of the decade on our hands, or a rude awakening that Justin Gaethje has become a patient fighter, and that patience and intelligence wins fights. As of today, April 2nd, the odds are plus 190 for Max and minus 230 for Gaethje. And for once, I think these odds are pretty fair. And yeah, I'm picking Gaethje. And listen, I know I've seen it that Max could be a good underdog pick. I know he's put on the muscle. I know it's not like the first time he moved up a weight class. But honestly, I don't think I've seen improvements in Max Holloway's game like I've seen in Gaethje's game. When you do the MMA math in your head and you do you play the fight in your head on the little screen we all got in our brains. Sure, we can all picture Max going out there, being the better boxer, having his flow combinations, and just outworking Justin throughout the fight. And as good as that sounds, I just don't think that Justin's going to allow Max to do any of that. Because recently, we've seen Gaethje with amazing shot selection and great composure. And trust me, I hate Justin Gaethje. I used to think, why is this guy a top 5 fighter? This is embarrassing. I don't get the hype. And if you ask me, I think there's still a real argument that Fiziev won the fight against Gaethje. But that's all besides the point, okay? I believe that Max doesn't deal well with people who are very picky with their shot selection. He doesn't deal well with power. And Max has seen a lot of damage throughout his career. He has record-breaking numbers of strikes absorbed. And Justin Gaethje is a very changed man. He is no longer the take one to give one. He showed this very well against both Dustin and Fiziev. He is no longer a brawler. He is a calculated striker with absolute bombs in his hands. Because even though Fiziev is technically the much better striker, the harder hitter, the everything, I think he's better everywhere in terms of striking. Gaethje beat him with a jab. He fought smarter. He fought more practical. He showed that he's the better fighter IQ guy. And I think it really is just that simple. So I'm going to have to pick Gaethje by possibly a TKO in the 3rd round. I think we will see Max Holloway fall. It saddens me, but I don't think Max Holloway is the same dude, and I don't think he's a better fighter since then. Up next, what should have been UFC China, Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. I tried to say that as best I could. The odds makers have been unforgiving so far, with Yan at plus 295 and Zhang at minus 375. But I kind of agree. I'm going to pick Zhang Weili. I think Yan does have a very good puncher's chance. She's very fast, but I don't think it's enough to put away Weili in one shot. Because we did see Mackenzie Dern ragdolling Yan during their fight. Weili is much stronger, and she's probably a lot more imposing during her grappling exchanges. I don't think she's a better grappler than Mackenzie Dern, but I definitely think we saw what Weili did to Carla Esparza, the Cookie Monster. So I'm going to have to pick Zhang Weili by stoppage, and I don't know what round. I just know that Zhang is probably going to take her down and have her way with her. And that's it. I will be doing a video on the prelims and the early prelims, so stay tuned for those. We finally made it. Time for the main event of the...
What the fuck is going on? Why is he doing that? Is he gay?
Jokes aside, we got Alex Pereira, the stone emoji dude. I don't know what the fuck that thing is called. And Jamal Hill, Sweet Dreams Hill. Can we just take a second to appreciate how much Alex is carrying the UFC? This dude has been saving card after card after card. He is the reason UFC is still thriving right now, bro. If it wasn't for him, I would have killed myself when Volk died 2 times in a row. And the odds makers have it very close, at Alex at a slight favorite, minus 130, and Jamal at the other end at a plus 110. But I disagree heavily. I don't think it's going to be close at all. I think Alex is going to go out there and show people that he is a double glory kickboxing champion for a reason. You're not going to mess with this guy on the feet. And Jamal Hill thinks he has a chance on the feet. And I'm not going to discredit Jamal Hill either. That guy had an amazing performance against Glover Teixeira. I think that Jamal Hill has a big chip on his shoulder to prove to everybody that Glover Teixeira was not just an old man who was going to retire that night either way. But he has to put away Glover's protege, Alex Pereira. And listen, any MMA fan knows that Alex Pereira's kryptonite is just a regular 1-2. It kills him every single time. But I can also have this gut feeling that it's just going to turn into trash talk gone wrong. And Jamal Hill's going to eat a lot of his words because I think Alex just sees things as a kickboxer. He sees things a lot better than Jamal Hill could on the feet. I think Jamal Hill's going to have to actually implement some wrestling if he wants a chance to win this fight. So if Alex can stay calm, not chase a finish, and take his time like he usually does, I think we could see a pretty clean sweep of Alex KOing Jamal Hill. I think there's going to be a lot of finishes on this card. I think it's going to be a great card, even though it didn't live up to what it was supposed to be. I have nothing else to say. Bye.